All right, Patriots and Raiders on Sunday. Evan Lazar here. Final preparations as we head into the weekend. This segment is brought to you by CarShield. And Evan, let's get into some of the key matchups in this game. Now, an obvious one here for the Patriots is going to be how their front seven is going to contain Josh Jacobs in the Raiders running game, which, if all things are going well, definitely tough to contain. He's one of the best all-purpose backs in the league. They've got a lot of beef on that offensive line. Jacobs has been out. He's got a little hip ailment, so we'll see what happens come Sunday. Could be veteran days off. Could be something that's real. If he's not in, obviously a totally different ballgame, but if he is, how do you see this matchup going?
Well, this is a big one for the Patriots because it kind of points to what I've been talking about all week with the personnel on the defensive side of the ball. Do they have enough girth? Do they have enough mass playing safeties in the box as linebacker positions? Kyle Duggars, Adrian Phillips, Terrence Brooks, Jawan Williams. Can those guys survive in the run game enough that they don't have to take them out of the game in the pass game? So that's the biggest question for the Patriots, I think, stylistically, just moving forward throughout the rest of the year. In terms of Oakland or Vegas, on Sunday, they're a very heavy zone rushing team, especially outside zone, running outside zone over 40% of the time since the start of 2018 when John Gruden got there. So they're going to try to get outside the tackle, or they're going to try and set up those cutback lanes. The best thing the Patriots can do is two gap, hold up everybody at the point of attack, contain and flow. So the good news is that the Patriots schematically already are built to stop a zone rushing scheme. We've seen them do it in the past with teams like the Rams in the Super Bowl. The bad news is that this is a very, very good offensive line against a smaller front seven.
Yeah, and without the benefit of a preseason, Evan, we're going to be calling them the Oakland Raiders for a while, so don't feel bad about it. I don't think you're alone there. Let's get into your marquee matchup, okay? And this is going to be tight end Darren Waller, who was a beast last game for Oakland, the 2-0 Oakland Raiders, mind you. And he's a really tough cover because it's not really a great way you can contain him. He lines up all over the place. He's fast. You do see one of those kind of Patriots almost like gunner approaches here where they kind of, they have somebody slamming them off the line. Yeah.
The only guys I've seen them do that with is Tony Gonzalez and Jimmy Graham. I don't know if Belichick puts Waller quite in the category as those two guys who Gonzalez already in the Hall of Fame and Graham might be in the Hall of Fame someday. But with Waller, I think that the challenges, and this is what the Patriots players talked about today, Devin McCourty, Stephon Gilmore, J.C. Jackson, all speaking to the media on Friday. The challenge with Waller is that he doesn't do just one thing. Devin McCourty brought up Megatron, Calvin Johnson as a great example, another just physical dominant athlete, right? But he was playing the X the entire game. So what did the Patriots do? They put one guy on him in man coverage, they put a safety over the top, and they double teamed him or they bracketed him, and they called it a day. With Waller, you need to have multiple plans. Sometimes it is going to be one guy left in man coverage. Sometimes they're going to be able to bracket him or cut him off coming across the field. But in all likelihood, they're going to have to throw the kitchen sink schematically at him because not one guy or one scheme or one plan is going to get the job done with the amount of different things that he does for that offense. So to me, the best physical size, speed standpoint kind of matchup is probably Jawan Williams, but I think they're going to throw a bunch of different guys at him. I wouldn't be surprised if Stephon Gilmore sees him on third downs and obvious passing situations, and maybe a guy like Williams or Duggar is the one that's on him in second down.
And was it JC today who said they got something cooking for him? Something special?
Something cooking for him. I think that something special, like I just said, though, is going to have to be situationally. Where is 83? Where is he lining up? Where is he running his route from? What down and distance is it? Do we know it's an obvious pass or if it could be a run here? And then they're going to have to incorporate different plans. I think the Megatron example that Devin McCourty used was perfect. That receiver, where he's going to be on the field. He's going to be outside, and what he wants to do. He wants to get up the field and make big plays down the field. Whereas with Waller, he can be in the backfield. He can be off the line. He can be detached. He can be in the slot. He can be out wide. It's just a whole different animal.
We don't say his name around these parts, but it's almost like a little Aaron Hernandez in his game.
A little bit. Definitely shifty at the top of the route like Hernandez was. Sure, he was the ball carrier that Hernandez was. No. This is such a unique talent. But at the top of the route, Waller is as good as maybe it's him, it's Travis Kelce, it's Zach Ertz at the top of the route, and that's about it.
Yep. Let's get into your hidden matchup, okay? This involves a member of the Patriots offensive line, Isaiah Wynn. You want to see how he hangs in there against Farrell.
Exactly. Well, 2 games so far for Isaiah Wynn, and he has yet to give up a pressure in pass protection. 72 pass blocking snaps, 0 pressures allowed. He's the only tackle, full-time tackle in the NFL to not allow pressure for the first 2 weeks of the season. Clelin Ferrell, though, to me is a really interesting challenge for him because Ferrell is long, he's big, he's got big, long arms, and he knows how to use that bull rush or that long arm move, and he's going up against a much smaller guy in Isaiah Wynn. Isaiah Wynn, 6'3", about 33-inch arms. Clelin Ferrell, almost 6'5", with almost 35-inch arms. So we're talking about a couple inches in height, a couple inches in length as well. So how does Isaiah Wynn hold up against a matchup like that? Farrell's definitely not, he's not Aaron Donald, he's not Khalil Mack, he's not an all-pro defensive end, but he's got that size mismatch with Wynn, so I'm really curious to see how Isaiah holds up against that kind of power.
Okay, well, we'll see. Wynn, as you said, has been playing really well through 2 games. Need that to hold up, especially Patriots. Generally speaking, on the offensive line, really need everyone to step up with the possibility that David Andrews is out. Want to tell everybody at home, this segment is presented by CarShield. 800-CAR-6000. Mention the code BEAT or visit carshield.com and use the code BEAT to save 10%. Evan, real quick, I'll just ask you your prediction here as they get set to play.
I think the Patriots will win this game. I think it's going to be a little bit tighter than people would have thought going into the season, certainly about Vegas, that no one had them at 2-0. No one had them as true contenders. So maybe it's a little bit tighter than before, but I think the inability of Derek Carr to push the ball down the field into tight windows is going to come back and haunt them.
You hate to say must win, but you got KC next week. Patriots are 1-1. Moral victories, you got to put them in the rearview mirror. Like, yes, Seattle was a tough matchup and they came within a whisper of winning, but you need this win. So Patriots have to come out there, get serious, get the W, because 1-2 is tough, especially knowing what's coming up next. So for Evan Lazar, I'm John Zanis. Thanks for watching.